legend like Will. Big rings like Will.
Suddenly, Will was everywhere.
I score at Will. I'm a legend like Will.
Brian Piccolo, born October 31st, 1943. Died June 16th, 1970. Piccolo was just 26 years old when he passed. His number 41 has been retired by the Chicago Bears. A running back, Piccolo shared the backfield with the great Gale Sayers. They would also share a lot of time together as they were roommates. This was a big deal. Their friendship on and off the field, along with Brian's tragic death, inspired the movie Brian's Song and a TV movie remake in 2001. Joseph and Irene Piccolo had 3 sons. Brian was the youngest. When Brian was 3 years old, the family decided to move from Massachusetts to Florida. Brian and his brothers were all athletes and a star running back on his high school football team, although he considered baseball his primary sport. He graduated high school in 1961, played college football at Wake Forest, one of 2 colleges to offer him a scholarship. In 1964, he led the nation in rushing and scoring and was named ACC Player of the Year, but was not selected in the AFL or NFL drafts. Piccolo was 10th in the balloting for the Heisman Trophy, just finishing ahead of future teammate Gale Sayers. December 26, 1964, Piccolo married his high school sweetheart, Joy Murith. I hope I said her name right. They had 3 daughters, Lori, Tracy, and Christy. Piccolo tried out as a free agent for the Chicago Bears 1965 season and made the taxi squad, known today as the practice squad. In 1966, he made the main roster, playing special teams. And in 1967, he got more time backing up superstar tailback Gale Sayers. Sayers suffered a knee injury during the 1968 season. Piccolo's biggest statistical year was 1968, posting 450 yards on 123 carries, a 3.7 average, 2 touchdowns, and 28 receptions for another 291 yards, a 10.4 average. 1969, Piccolo was moved to fullback, and with Sayers' return, the two were in the same backfield together on offense. Players at that time were still segregated by race for hotel assignments at the suggestion of the Bears captain. The policy was changed, and each player was reassigned by position so that wide receivers would room with wide receivers together, quarterbacks would room together with other quarterbacks, etc. Running backs with running backs. The only position on the 1969 Bears squad, however, with 1 black and 1 white player, was Sayers and Piccolo. That season in Atlanta, Brian scored a touchdown in the 4th quarter on a 1-yard run. Then he removed himself from the game, something he had never done before. Breathing had become extremely difficult for him. When the team returned to Chicago, he was sent for a medical examination and was diagnosed with embryonal cell carcinoma. Brian underwent a couple of procedures to remove his left lung and pectoral muscle. He had chest pains soon after, and the cancer had spread to other organs, particularly his liver. He died the early morning of June 16th at the age of 26. Gale Sayers accepted the George S. Hallis Award for Most Courageous Player and told the crowd that they had selected the wrong person for the award. He said, "I love Brian Piccolo. I'd like for all of you to love him too." Tonight, when you hit your knees to pray, please ask God to love him too. Sayers and Dick Buckhurst were among the 6 pallbearers teammates, the Bears teammates who served as pallbearers at Christ the King Catholic Church in Chicago on June 19th. He was buried at St. Mary Catholic Cemetery in Evergreen Park in Illinois. The friendship between Brian and Gail proved to be a special one indeed, not just because of their on the field, but the time they spent off the field too. I think in that time, and still in this time today, we see the walls and the boundaries that need to be broken down with race, with the boundaries that just need to be taken down. They dared to do something that wasn't being done at that time, rooming together, being friends, being brothers on a level that needed to be brought to, and at that time. And, we're dealing with a little bit of that today in a different way. It's gotten a lot better. But this story here, it's been 50 years since Brian's tragic death, and I just wanted to bring to light his story a little bit. Only 26 years old, but still left a great story for us, and one that we could look back on. And we may not have all the time in the world, but what time we do have, how are you going to spend it? How are you going to be remembered? Did you share the love that maybe you had been given or never been given, but you wanted? Be kind to all. We are all precious in our God's sight. And, one day we're not going to be here anymore. And ultimately, we'll have to answer for everything we've done to the Almighty One, and every knee shall bow, and every tongue shall confess that He is Lord. And when that time comes, I want Him to say, well done. And I got a feeling that possibly Brian got that well done, and I can't wait for mine. Anyone who believes, it's that simple. I'm going to take every opportunity I can to spread the name Jesus. So if you need that love today, He loves you. He loves you.